What's up, guys? Today we're doing a March Madness style bracket with some of the most popular YouTubers. First up, we got Cody Ko and SteveWillDoIt. The thing about Cody Ko is that he's just very funny. No matter what the video is about, Cody Ko will be entertaining. SteveWillDoIt is an entertainer. He's downed half gallons of vodka, just done insane things with drinking. And he's also very funny. If you've seen him with Bradley Martin, there's a lot of funny stuff there. He's obviously one of the members of Nelk. I think that they're both themselves, and I respect that a lot about both of them. I think I'm going to have to go with Cody Ko on this one. I think that Steve has a lot of growing to do. Cody's been in the game a little longer, but I think overall Cody's just a little bit better than Steve, even though I love Steve. Next up, we got Logan Paul and H3. Starting off with Logan Paul, he came to YouTube, I think, in like 2017. I think that he was one of the fastest growing channels there ever was. I think in 1 year he got like some crazy amount, like 10 million subs or something like that. I think that Logan Paul is a businessman, and I think he's very smart. I know he used to be super cringe, but I think he changed his image. So H3 Productions, that's Ethan and Ela Klein. They started out as just a commentary channel. Ethan is currently killing it right now with Trisha Paytas and the Frenemies podcast. Logan has had more of an impact on YouTube as a whole. He did such a crazy thing and grew so fast. I'm going to have to go with Logan on this one. Next up, we got James Charles and Danny Duncan. So James Charles is obviously the makeup YouTuber. He's sold, I don't know, millions of dollars worth of makeup kits, and I don't know too much about him, but I know that he changed the game for makeup and he's rich. I really respect Danny Duncan because he's real. He's himself. He's not playing up for the camera. He doesn't collab with anyone else. He's a lone wolf, and he's a businessman. He does the Virginity Rocks merch. He sells it in even Zoomies, and he's just super entertaining. One of the best YouTubers there is, and some people don't even know about him. And so he has an amazing fan base, and he's killing the game. I'm going to have to go with Danny Duncan on this one. I think Danny Duncan is a beast. Next up, we got the king of YouTube, PewDiePie, up against Dude Perfect. So Dude Perfect and PewDiePie are both very old channels. They stood the test of time. PewDiePie started out as a gaming channel and just blew up like crazy. He has over 100 million subscribers now, as most people know. He's the biggest channel on YouTube. And then there's Dude Perfect. They do trick shots and cool things like that. They have an entire stadium to themselves. They have like 50 million subscribers. They're also killing the game, and they've been killing the game for years. This one's tough, but I think PewDiePie has the edge on them. Moving on over to the other side, we got the Sidemen versus David Dobrik. So the Sidemen are a group of British YouTubers. They have very high quality content. They do a lot of challenges and game show type videos. What I really like about them is, I don't know, I think there's like 6 of them or 7 of them maybe, and they're all so dedicated to the channel. They have a huge fan base in the UK and around the world. Then we got David Dobrik. David Dobrik cracked the YouTube algorithm. His 4-minute and 20-second short videos packed with content absolutely demolished that algorithm, and it brought him to the top. He really pushed the limits with some of the stuff he did. He's known for giving his friends Teslas and cars and stuff like that. I think I'm going to have to go with David Dobrik on this one. He's just kind of an unstoppable force, unfortunately, for the Sidemen. Up next, we got Mr. Beast versus Drama Alert or Keemstar. Everyone knows who Mr. Beast is. He's known for giving people hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars for no reason, basically giving people free houses, giving people free cars. He literally opened up a car dealership and bought all the cars in there, like 30 cars, and just gave them all away for free. Started out on YouTube like 10 years ago. And for the first like 7 years, he just grinded and posted every day, kept posting. He didn't know what was going to make him blow up. All he knew is that he wanted to do YouTube. And eventually it worked. And his dedication is so strong towards YouTube, and it's super inspirational. On course to be the most subscribed YouTuber soon. He's going to pass up PewDiePie eventually. He just passed 50 million subs, and he's growing so fast. I got to admit that watching Drama Alert is like my guilty pleasure. It's really toxic, I think, and kind of cringe, but it's entertaining. He keeps all the news updated, whether it's true or not. he'll put it out there, and it's just kind of fun to watch if you're into the whole YouTube scene. I think Mr. Beast absolutely obliterates Keemstar overall. Mr. Beast is on a different level. Next up, we got Dream versus KSI. Dream started blowing up just this year. He does long form Minecraft videos, Minecraft manhunts. Dream is one of the only gaming channels that I'll watch because it's so intense. It's like a 45-minute long video packed with intensity and action, and Dream is so good at Minecraft that it's super fun to watch. KSI started out as a FIFA YouTuber. He started to grow. He grew a fan base mainly just because of his personality. He has a contagious laugh and he just makes you smile. Like if you watch a KSI video, you're just going to be smiling through the whole thing. It's just kind of a positive, upbeat vibe that gets people through their days, I think. And the guy just cannot seem to lose. He did the boxing match with Logan Paul. He beat Logan Paul against all odds. And then he also drops music all the time and it gets a lot of attention too. I'm going to have to go with KSI on this just because KSI has had such a cultural impact. He's been a part of this community for so long. So I think KSI takes this one. Next up, we got Nelk versus Jake Paul. So we all know who Jake Paul is, known for being that cringy, it's everyday bro YouTuber. He's the little brother of Logan Paul, straight from Disney Channel. He's actually boxing a real MMA fighter. He knocked out Nate Robinson. He knocked out Big Gibber. He beat Deji. I mean, he hasn't boxed any boxers yet, but he's beaten all of his opponents. And now he's fighting an actual MMA fighter coming up in April. Jake Paul can be cringe sometimes, but you can't deny the cultural impact that he's had on YouTube. Jake Paul is also like the internet bad guy, and that's actually a good thing. It's always good to have the bad guy. It makes everything way more entertaining. Nelk started probably like 3 or 4 years ago. They're these Canadian guys. SteveWillDoIt, Kyle, and Jesse are the main people who are a part of Nelk. And they basically just travel around the world, do pranks, and post entertaining kind of party style content. Their merch is where they make most of their money. They get barely any ad revenue from YouTube. So they do a merch drop like every month. Full send. I think I'm gonna have to go with the Nelk boys on this one. Next up, we got Cody Ko versus Logan Paul. Okay, as we talked about earlier, Cody Ko is a beast. He's super funny. He has been in the game for a while. Both of these people, Cody Ko and Logan Paul, both came from Vine. They're both Vine stars. I think Logan obviously has more of a following than Cody Ko, but I think Cody Ko has more loyal fans. Logan Paul is doing some crazy things right now with the whole Pokemon box break, his NFTs and all that. Boxing match with Floyd Mayweather coming up, which is absolutely insane. But if Logan Paul somehow manages to knock out Floyd Mayweather, that's going to be crazy. I think I'm going to have to go with Cody Ko on this one. I think he's a little more well-rounded, hasn't had any controversies, but Logan Paul has had a comeback. Cody Ko takes it. We'll see that fight coming up with Logan and Floyd. Cody Ko moves on to the next round. Next up, we got Danny Duncan versus PewDiePie. You know, PewDiePie is the most subbed YouTuber. He's a legend. He's the king of YouTube. Has stood the test of time, whether he changes his content or whatever he does. He's very authentic and real, and that's what I like a lot about PewDiePie. But Danny Duncan is also very authentic and real, and I really like that about Danny Duncan. He has his merch, his Zoomies sales, and I really respect him for being a lone wolf and just sticking to himself. Danny Duncan is awesome, but I'm going to have to go with PewDiePie. Over on the other side, we have David Dobrik versus Mr. Beast. These guys are both legends. David Dobrik, though, has not been posting that much recently. Mr. Beast is continuing to put out content on 3 different channels, and he's killing it on all 3 of them. David Dobrik cracked the code a couple years ago, but Mr. Beast has cracked the code and continued to crack the code and come up with new content every time. David Dobrik is awesome, but I think that Mr. Beast is going to win this round. KSI versus Nelk. Okay, this one is also very tough. KSI has been putting out content for so many years. It's probably been like 10 years now. As I said before, KSI just can't really lose. KSI is the king of Reddit too. His Reddit is insane. He has so many fans on there. KSI's Reddit is actually a really good community, and that's really cool. Nelk, as I said before, as the merch drops, They do insane things. They just have an actual business running. I think Nelk has like 30 employees under them, and they started out with just a couple Canadian dudes just making funny videos. I think that I'm going to have to go with KSI though. I think KSI has that cultural impact. He has that huge following. KSI takes it for me. All right, we're in the semifinals here, and we got Cody Ko versus PewDiePie. It does not matter what the video is about. Cody Ko will make it entertaining. He's one of those guys that's just relatable. You feel like he's your friend. It feels very natural to watch a Cody Ko video. PewDiePie, like we said before, is the king. He had his race with T-Series. He was able to fend off T-Series. You know how insane that was? There were people hacking printers and printing off "subscribe to PewDiePie." There were people putting billboards up saying "subscribe to PewDiePie." Mr. Beast held up a sign at the Super Bowl saying "subscribe to PewDiePie." PewDiePie is the GOAT. He's the king of YouTube. Subscribers following aside, I personally think that Cody Ko's content and Cody Ko as a person is more entertaining than PewDiePie. I think that Cody Ko is moving on to the final round. In the semifinal on the other side, we have Mr. Beast versus KSI. Everyone knows who Mr. Beast is now. He's given away millions of dollars, and in return, his channel has grown and skyrocketed to 50 million. He's the fastest growing channel there is right now, and it doesn't look like it's going to stop. Mr. Beast is a very nice, genuine guy. He has more dedication than anyone else on this bracket. Mr. Beast started YouTube 10 years ago. He never gave up. He was getting like no views for 7 years, and he just continued and continued to post. He slowly grew, and then finally it worked out for him. Mr. Beast really is a beast, but then we got KSI. KSI has had this crazy cultural impact on YouTube. He had his boxing matches that brought in millions of viewers. He beat Logan Paul, even though it looked like Logan Paul was bigger, stronger, more athletic. KSI has the heart of a lion. He's a dog. He just does not give up. He's a beast. I think, unfortunately for KSI, Mr. Beast is going to have to win it just because he's growing so fast. He's not going to stop growing anytime soon, and he's had a little bit bigger of an impact on YouTube, I think, than KSI. In the final, we have Cody Ko versus Mr. Beast. Like we said before, Cody Ko is a freaking comedian. He's super funny, he's super chill, and he's super real. And that's what we love about Cody Ko. Now, Mr. Beast, on the other hand, is way more popular than Cody Ko, has a lot more subscribers. He really researches the algorithm and the analytics, and he knows what is going to make him blow up. Mr. Beast grinded for years and years and years, and he never gave up. And it's super inspirational what he did, and he's had an insane cultural impact on YouTube. He's changed YouTube forever. The final decision of the YouTube March Madness bracket is Mr. Beast.